Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nadreen K here and thanks for tuning in for today's video. I am continuing on my digital marketing career series and today's video is all about jobs. So how to land a digital marketing job or role. If you haven't checked out the first video in the series, I'm going to have linked it in the description box below, on the iCard here and at the end of the video, so you can watch that and just get up to speed with what we've talked about so far. But the first video was all about salaries within the digital marketing industries and all the different job roles that you can kind of do. So if you want to find out how to land a digital marketing role, then please keep watching, and to make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss all of the other videos to follow in this series. So one thing that occurred to me from the last video is that while I am pretty good at responding to comments on here, I wanted to sort of continue the conversation over on Instagram. So once the series is done, I think what I'm going to do is an Instagram live, which will basically be a your questions answered. So that's going to be any question you had on any of the video topics ever. I will probably go live alone, but I might kind of bring a special guest in to kind of talk about different elements. So if you guys are game for that, if you want me to do an IG live, happy to do so. I'll kind of see how the series goes, what kinds of questions we get on the videos, and yeah, take it from there. But I say that to say, come and follow me on Instagram, because if you can't wait for that, DM me and I will respond to your question that way. So it's at Nadreen K across Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and I will list all my other social handles in the description box below. So anyway, let me get right into the video. I guess this is going to vary depending on what direction you're coming into a digital role from. There's also something I wanted to address. Somebody said in the last video, someone commented to say that I take a little while to get to the point. Now, while that might be true and I do ramble a little bit, please understand that I'm trying to cover off and pack these videos with as much information as possible. So if it seems like I'm taking ages to get to the point of, I guess, what the title of the video suggests, you're obviously more than welcome to kind of do your own Google research and see what resources are out there. But I want this series to be as informative and as detailed as possible. So anything that I'm talking about, I feel like is vital information for you guys to know. So if I do get any comments like that moving forward, they will be deleted and you will be blocked. Because I'm really kind of just sharing my expertise, sharing my experience, and I'm, you know, not charging anybody for this. All I'm doing is running a few ads on the videos so that, you know, I as a creator and as a person sharing the knowledge gets something back for the time that I put in. So hopefully you guys can understand that. So yeah, back to job roles. If you are, and I think the majority of my viewers are coming at this from a graduate standpoint, there's a few different ways in which you can work this. Now, obviously, to land any job, digital marketing is no different. It all comes down to your CV. That's sort of where it starts. And I would say what you want to get an understanding of is what a potential employer is going to want to see from your CV. So if you're a graduate, obviously most employers would understand that you might not have any like work experience, or you potentially haven't used any of the tools that they use within their business. I think most organizations are understanding of that. However, if there's like a particular industry that you want to get into, or I guess a particular company that you want to work for, what I would say is a good place to start is getting on LinkedIn, sending a connection request or a message to somebody who is in a HR position, or maybe even like a marketing position, like a marketing manager position or digital marketing manager position, and messaging them and asking what sort of things they would want to see from a graduate CV. So if you're kind of going for digital marketing executive roles, then maybe ask specifically about those, not just ask about like a graduate, you know, what they would want to see from that. So yeah, so maybe if you want to work at for example, I don't know, Cadbury's HQ. Go on LinkedIn, look for people who work there, look for somebody within a HR position at Cadbury, message them and just say, hey, I'm a recent graduate, I'm looking to get to land my first digital marketing role. Would be great to understand, one, whether you have any open positions, and two, if not, what sort of skills and programs or software would you expect to see on a CV for somebody applying for such a role? And then they can, if it's a HR person, they can go off and ask, you know, somebody senior within the marketing team what they'd be looking for. If it's, you know, a marketing professional, they should be able to kind of tell you exactly what, you know, they would be looking for, because they're probably using those tools or managing people who do on a day-to-day basis. So that's a good place to start. And then whatever insights you gather from that, I would then add those to your CV if you have those skills or if you've used that software. And two, if you haven't, go on the websites for those software, I guess, or tools or platforms that they've mentioned, and see if you can get a free trial. Because there's nothing like, you know, stopping at, okay, well, I don't have this experience, so I can't do anything. You can get about as much information from a trial or from a demo video or just from going on a website about a product as you can. So do some desk research, I would say. And then also look at like alternatives on the market that are cheap or free and use those. So for example, if you are looking at email marketing systems, let's say they've said to you, we would like somebody with Pardot, which is a Salesforce email marketing platform. We would like someone with Pardot experience. Okay, so you probably don't use Pardot in your day-to-day life, but maybe you go on the website and maybe you watch a few demo videos, maybe you go on YouTube and look at some tutorials on how to like set up an email campaign, how to set up your campaign audience, etc. So do some desk research. You can probably find a lot of information online with regards to like user guides and like even going on like the support or FAQ section of these software sites can give you as much information as you're sort of looking for. So that's the one thing you want to do. So you want to understand what software, what skills, and I guess generally speaking, what industry experience the companies that you want to apply for would be looking for. And then you want your CV to reflect that as much as possible. And then obviously the same applies no matter kind of what level of role you're looking at. But obviously if you're kind of reaching out to people on LinkedIn to get a bit of an insight into the profile of the person that they're looking for, it would change naturally. So yeah, so I would say from a graduate or like entry-level standpoint, that's probably the best place to start. I would also say that if you have just graduated or if you are kind of looking for a career change, experience, I hate to say it, is going to be crucial. So I would say either try and get a paid work placement or a free sort of bit of voluntary experience within an organisation. You know, just email some companies and say, hey, I would love to come on board as a voluntary digital marketing exec or digital marketing coordinator, just to get some experience and put some stuff on my CV. Would you be happy to look at covering travel for me? And you know, I work on a voluntary basis while I upskill. So that's one option. You could also, so you know, that's if you kind of want real world experience. The alternative is to set up your own brand. Now, I am a big advocate for entrepreneurship and for you know, people sort of having multiple streams of income. And the best way to test and to learn digital marketing skills is probably to, you know, create a brand that you need to market online yourself. Now, I'm very much inspired by my story on here, my sister's story, my brother's story, all of who have kind of built their either a personal brand or a, you know, a physical like product, just off their own back basically. So a lot of what I learned from a video content creation perspective came from, you know, starting a YouTube channel. And that kind of feeds into like SEO and like paid social media campaigns and all of the other things that I'm going to talk about in the rest of this series. But set up your own brand basically, and do all of the things that you would need to do to market that brand in the digital world. So, you know, create email campaigns. You can use free software like MailChimp. Sorry, it might not be free, but you can use free email marketing softwares. You can run paid social media ads, like I do a bit of paid or sponsored posts on Instagram, just to like test out how that works. You can do the same on Facebook. You can set up a website pretty easily, learn, you know, basic SEO techniques. And then you can start to look into PPC, which is Google's like sponsored ads that you see at the top of your search results. So there's a lot that you can probably learn by setting up your own brand. So if you're struggling to get experience from, you know, an established company, set out on your own. So that's a really good way to get practical experience, and then absolutely put that on your CV. I guess the other thing that relates to the CV that you probably are going to want to do is to get it looked at professionally. And I would say this is relevant for any role, not just digital marketing roles or digital marketing jobs. Before you even start to apply, I would 100% recommend getting an established and well-known CV writing company to look at your CV and see if they can make any improvements or any tweaks that makes it the most professional and the most impactful and hard-hitting, I guess, sell for you. Because really your CV is to sell you and your skills and your abilities, and if it's kind of lukewarm, you're just going to get put to the bottom of the pile. As you know, like new jobs that are posted online probably get thousands of applications. So you want to stand out by one, meeting the minimum requirements, and two, going above and beyond to really use the kind of language and hone in on like stats and facts and figures that will really make you sort of stand out from the crowd. I did this a couple of years back and I used Top CV. So it's just topcv.co.uk. It cost me £99, yeah, just under £100, and they just did a basic rewrite, and I think I landed a contract role within a month after that. And bear in mind, I'd been applying for about 3 months before that. So yeah, so it definitely makes a difference, and I would kind of recommend that for anybody. But I think you would kind of want to have content for your CV before you get to that point. So that's kind of like the last step. So if you're maybe entry level or above, maybe you're moving from a marketing to digital, or you want to move from a marketing to a digital marketing role, that's probably where you might benefit from, a professional kind of looking over your CV and just giving it a bit of pizzazz. So that is CVs. I really think your CV is your key to landing a new job. And once your CV is looking right, you probably then want to get onto the right job sites for the roles that you're kind of looking at. So I would always say have a goal in mind. So I think when I set out after graduating, I kind of had in mind what kind of companies I wanted to work for. So I guess you can have like your dream list, so like the big, exciting, like this is the goal, this is the company that I want to get to, right at the top of the list. And for me, that was like working within the financial services industry, because as we all know, I'm very money motivated, and I knew that they paid very well for marketing roles anyway. So that was always at the top of my list. In fact, KPMG, JP Morgan, Accenture, so like all of the big four, as we call them here in the UK, were on my list, and I actually landed a job at one of them. maybe, I guess it was like 3 years into my career, but I worked my way up to that. So have like some companies at the top of your list that would be like, you know, the holy grail. And then, you know, mid-tier, just kind of like middle of the list is kind of have the types of industries that you would want to work for. So financial services, you know, fast-moving consumer goods, or FMCG, tech, etc. So like do some research on what kind of industries you would like to go into, and then look at company sizes. Like, would you want to work for a startup where, you know, you'll probably get a lot more experience and you'll probably be very much more hands-on, but you'll have a lot to juggle and everything will be quite, how can I describe this? Everything will kind of fall on you a little bit if you're the only marketing member of staff there. So I did some time in a startup early on in my marketing career, and that was just after I'd come from an agency role. So yeah, think about whether you want to work for a startup where you're going to get more experience, but you're going to be left a bit to your own devices, or if you want to work for maybe a larger, more established organization where you will have a lot more support, probably a lot more people within the marketing or digital function, but you will only look after certain elements or certain regions, for example. And then you probably want to think about whether you want to start agency or client side. And all of these factors will influence your search. So there's numerous sites, and I'm just going to talk about UK ones specifically because I'm not too familiar with the US job market. But here in the UK, the main sites that you want to look for roles are Indeed, which is a very popular one. It wasn't all that popular early on in my career, but it's definitely grown, and I think a lot of businesses are advertising roles there now. So that's a more generic new job site. Then I used to use a lot jobsite.co.uk and also onlymarketingjobs.com. Now, the reason why I use marketing specific ones are pretty obvious. I only want to look at marketing roles. I don't want to sift through or have to filter down for like all of these other different types of roles. But also, a key thing to do when you're applying for jobs on these sites is to list your CV on there. So you'll have to upload your CV to apply for a role on these sites anyway. But then what you always want to make sure is to check the box to make sure that your CV is visible to recruiters. And so that way, if you've got pretty good experience, recruiters can find you on these sites and reach out to you, and you can kind of start to build connections with them so that they put you forward for roles that they're recruiting for. Because one thing you guys should know is a lot of roles, marketing roles especially, aren't advertised online first. So a lot of companies, especially like, you know, the sort of top end of companies in terms of size, they'll work through a recruitment agency. And while that recruitment agency might spend a bit of the budget on marketing those jobs on the job boards, they might not do that to start with, and they might just go out to their database of like really good contacts and just sort of see if they've got anyone there to start with. So you want to make sure that your CV is visible on those sites and that your contact information is on there so a recruiter can call you. Let's say they've advertised on there, well, they haven't advertised on there, but they want to see what kind of candidates are looking for roles. If they come across your details, they can be like, oh, you know what, let me give Jane a call and see, you know, what her experience is, what she's looking for her next step, and see if, you know, keep her in mind for any future roles that I get from my clients. So that is key, and that is, I think, recruiter relationships is how I landed most of my contract roles. And also, to be fair, LinkedIn. So you want to make sure, oh, dead leg, that whatever is on your CV is mirrored on LinkedIn. So don't spend loads of time and money, you know, potentially on, you know, making sure that your CV is correct and not having the exact same information on your LinkedIn, because a lot of people are now recruiting via LinkedIn also. So yeah, so I would say those are the key points. I will list the sites that I use for job hunting down below, but it's all about your CV and it's all about, you know, kind of what your goals are, as well as how accessible you are to recruiters. So relationships, experience and skills, and your CV. That's how you're going to land your ideal digital marketing role. I am going to close out the video by asking you guys to, 1, put your questions down below in the comments, 2, subscribe, and 3, just let you know that I am toying with an idea around kind of setting up a network of aspiring digital marketers, and, you know, seeing if me and a friend of mine can like maybe set up like a matching service, because I know that loads of companies are looking for recent graduates, or, you know, digital marketing support, particularly if you are quite skilled in social media. So I would love to kind of get that set up. But yeah, it's something that me and my friend are working on. So make sure you're subscribed to hear more about that and future endeavours, and I will try to bring you the next video in the series next week, Tuesday. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that video is going to be on, but I'm basically going to be getting into the digital marketing disciplines themselves. So email marketing, search engine optimization, social media marketing and management, paid advertising, so like paid social, paid search, and the like, content marketing, blogging, all sorts. So comment down below and let me know what you guys would like me to start the series with. I will kind of list them from 1 to 6 as a pinned comment, and then you guys can sort of let me know which you want to see next. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, which is actually going up today, and it's going to be the rest of my moving vlog. So I found some like lost footage from my old place, and like process of me moving stuff from there and cleaning there and bringing stuff here, and like I vlogged the beginning of like my week a bit here as well, unboxing some Amazon deliveries and stuff. So check that out. I'll have uploaded that just before this one, so do watch that. And then Thursday's video will be a just an insight into like apartment hunting or flat hunting in the UK for those that are interested. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.